I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. I think I can finally be adopted into the Weasley family. That has been my aim in life, and I think I finally achieved it. Hello and welcome to the channel. I've dressed in my most Weasley-ish jumper because I want to talk to you about books that give me Weasley jumper vibes. So these are books that I can totally see myself with sitting in the Weasley's burrow with a nice butterbeer or tea, in case you don't like butterbeer, and reading these books. I can see that. That's a vibe. That's the vibe we're going for. So all of these books that I have here give me that cozy, comfortable, maybe autumn-ish vibe that I would kind of associate with the Weasley or with the Weasley vibe. I don't know. Obviously, this is just my opinion. You could very much not like these books or not think of them as Weasley vibey. But yeah. Okay, first ones I didn't put on this list because they were kind of obvious for me are obviously, you know, the Harry Potter books. If you want to get a Weasley vibe, read Harry Potter. Definitely. But I have one more that is like from the Harry Potter universe, kind of, but not one of the series. And that is The Tales of Beedle the Bard. I only have the German version. I don't have an English version yet. These are 5 tales, the 5 tales of Beedle the Bard, including The Tale of the Three Brothers and Babbity Rabbity, which I think was Ron's favorite, you know. And this was so adorable. This was so amazing. Like, obviously this is written by J.K. Rowling, but I love the way, like, inside the book it says that, you know, it was translated from the old runes by Hermione, and that Albus Dumbledore had like a little comment and footnotes in there, which is really, really cute. And yeah, these definitely like put you into the whole Harry Potter vibe, and because I always think, especially when I read Babbity Rabbity, I always think of Ron. So yeah, this one definitely, if you haven't yet read it, The Tales of Beedle the Bard. Alright, the next one I have is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Again, I don't have, can you see? Yeah, I don't have an English edition of this, so the German one is like much bigger than I think all the English editions are, so I don't know what that's about. I think you all know Pride and Prejudice, or even if you haven't read it, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, and I feel like the Jane Austen vibe gives me that cozy Weasley-ish vibe. It was just, I could totally see, you know, sitting down in the burrow and reading Pride and Prejudice. Absolutely, could totally do that. I'm also currently listening to an audiobook of Emma by Jane Austen, and I think I would maybe count that as well. Put it on the list. Let's put it on the list. Already loving it, maybe, possibly even better than Pride and Prejudice. But I'm just like halfway through. I'm a little bit over halfway through, so we'll see how it turns out, but I think we could put it on the list as well. So yeah, Jane Austen, generally big cozy Weasley jumper vibes. The next one that also gives me these kind of cozy vibes, which I do associate with the Weasley jumpers. They kind of just look like family, they look like a comfy home. So all of that is kind of what you can find in The Little Prince. I hadn't read The Little Prince for a long time. Well, I knew the story, and there was like a series, like a TV show for kids that I watched that I loved. But yeah, I have the little book now by, oh wow, that's a French name, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Again with the French names, I'm not that good with French, apparently. Yeah, obviously this is about the little prince who lives with his rose on his little planet, and then travels through the universe to other planets, and meets all kind of people, and it's actually a really tragic story if you read it now as someone who's not a child anymore. But still, I only have very warm and fuzzy memories about, you know, knowing the story or having read the story as a child and then watching the series, so that's kind of the vibe we're going for, you know? So yeah, The Little Prince. Also, if you haven't read The Little Prince, you should do it, even just to, you know, reconcile your memory, and you'd be like, so yeah. It's adorable, and it's definitely a must-read, whether it's for the Weasley vibe or not. Okay, the next one is probably very unexpected, but hear me out. It's A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. I read this at towards the end of last year, and it wasn't the first vibe I got, and it's not the cozy vibe that is the Weasley thing for me in here. I think in my book journal, or in my review of this book, I wrote, "This was a fever dream," and I think that's true. But I also think that Fred and George's shop, like joke shop, when you go in there, that's a fever dream. So this contains magic, this contains love potions, like King of the Fairies and all of that, like magical stuff. So this is really more, this is giving me more of a Weasley vibe in the magical direction in that regard. So yeah, it's also one of the shorter ones with shorter Shakespeare plays that I've read. And I liked this much more than I thought I would. And oh, there's one character that I think Fred and George would really like, or that I, you know, that I kind of thought of. And his name is Butt. Yeah, his name's Butt. He's kind of a trickster figure, so yeah. That's the, so yeah. A Midsummer Night's Dream. Who would have thought? Let's read some Shakespeare and you get Weasley vibes. Okay, so I only have 2 more books, but they are by the same author, so I'm going to show you at the same time. Because I have 2 books by T.J. Klune. One is Under the Whispering Door and The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I both read last year, or I listened to both of them last year. And honestly, these are both involve magic, but also give you these incredibly cozy, like, family vibes, because, well, let's start with The House in the Cerulean Sea. This is about Linus Baker, who is who works at the department in charge of magical youth, and he visits, or his job is to visit orphanages with magical children, and then decide whether they are intact and they can, you know, stay like they are, or if something needs to be changed, or if they need to be closed, which is obviously kind of sad, but yeah. So one day he gets like this very special mission to go to a very special orphanage with children, including the Antichrist. Yeah, one of them is the Antichrist. His name's Lucifer, or Lucy, which already I think is adorable. They call Lucifer Lucy. And there he meets Arthur Panassus, who owns the orphanage, and he's kind of, you know, the guardian of all the children there, and they all have like very special abilities. They're not just like normal magical kids, but they have special magical powers. We have the magic, we have some cute romance here and there. It's just that all these kids and Arthur, they are like this big family, and you can't break up the family. You could never break up a family like that. You could never break up a family like the Weasleys. So yeah, this gave me major Weasley vibes. So many. And the last one that I have is Under the Whispering Door, which is also by T.J. Klune. And I, because I liked The House in the Cerulean Sea so much, I definitely wanted to read the other T.J. Klune book that was very popular. You probably heard of both of these. And in this one, this is actually very different kind of concept, but I really like the idea. Like this, it's really cool. As you can tell on the cover, there's a little house, and that is a tea shop. And that one is called Chiron's Crossing. Chiron, if you don't know, in Greek mythology is the person who brings the people from the living world into the underworld. So he is with them on their way from life into death. So this tea shop is where people go once they have died. So we meet our boy Wallace. Wallace, who in life is not a very nice man. He's working all the time and he's very rude. And then he dies from a heart attack and is brought to this tea shop where Hugo waits for him, and Hugo is the one who they all talk to, and he brings them into the world of the dead. I don't know. But they can spend the time they need to process their life and the fact that they're dead and stuff like that in the tea shop with Hugo. So again, we have this magical vibe. This little tea shop is adorable. We have Hugo's grandpa, who's like a ghost and still existing in the tea shop because he never crossed the door to the world of the dead. And his dog. Again, we have this kind of a small family vibe that exists in the tea shop. That is Under the Whispering Door. It was just as adorable as The House in the Cerulean Sea. Both of these, by the way, if you are into LGBTQ romance, read these. These were incredibly adorable, and just I was smiling a lot while I was listening to this. I was just like, this is so adorable. This is, you just wanted to curl up with a warm blanket and your tea and put this on or read this and feel happy, because that's what this does. And that's also what I think living with the Weasleys would do. I'd just be happy all the time. Yeah, I guess that's all the books I have for you today. If you have any other books that give you Weasley vibes, I want to know, because I want to read them. I am now in my Weasley era, as you can tell, so we need to fully embrace that. I hope you're having a very magical, wonderful day, or night, or morning, or whatever, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!